if we talk about too wide or too narrow, many people get often confused with that because we have once is the tree width. Tree width is where the vertical panel ends, where the D-ring is, and most of the time it measures 13.5 or 5.25 inch down from the center to the side and then across. That measures the tree width. So if that's too wide, it would sit on its withers. Then you say, oh, so what? I'm going to put a saddle pad on. Okay. So therefore, too narrow would sit way above the horse. And then it says, I can't use a pad, so that's not good. So the tree width, I always encourage people to go a minimum of 20 centimeter here. So 20 centimeters, 8 inches. Okay. If you have that width and the tree is too wide, definitely you have an option to put an extra saddle pad on. Now it's reversed when it comes to the tree angle. I just talked about, see the yellow dotted line here? That's the tree width. Let's talk about the angle. So the angle is below that 5-inch mark I just showed you on the saddle. So from that line down here, 4 inches. On a Western saddle, it's very easy to see because you see here is the tree width, and then this is the angle. On an English saddle, it used to be that the panel, this is the vertical panel, then here you got a little piece of leather to attach it to the saddle, that used to be not too high. So that was 5-inch down, right? And then you measure from there to there. That's the tree width. So if I separate the tree here, that's the tree width. See how my hands go apart? And then when I change the angle, you see how I twist my wrist? Okay, that's the angle. So obviously on the wood tree, you can't do it because that changes the bars, changes the webbing. Certain trees are not allowed or not meant to do it. Whereas other trees, adapt trees, there you can adapt the tree width and then the angle, individual left or right, without changing the width for the rider's twist, seat width, or without changing the arc of the tree. So many companies now use the adapt tree or flex trees because, well, the horses changes. And if you as a coach do a good job, well, the horse will change. So if you have a saddle that's too wide, it will always put pressure. This is really, really, really important. Okay, it will always put pressure on this muscle, on the splenialis and the trapezius. You do not want any pressure on this muscle, or that muscle. So if you have the tree just flare out, okay, and now you have a wide tree, and says, oh, you know what? It's okay because I'm going to have a saddle pad. But then the saddle will catch right at the edge of the splenialis, trapezius, and rhomboideus, very important muscles, and you will have these dry spots here, and you see a lot of pressure. The saddle will go forward, and it will hit the bladder meridian point BL13. Okay, so you definitely don't want a saddle what is too wide in the tree angle. The tree width is okay. Very difficult subject because often that gets mistaken. Look how far the tree points, the green pen cap, very wide tree width, but a very steep angle. This is a very narrow tree width with a little wider angle. All right, so my suggestion, make sure when you have a saddle on the horse, you make sure you give the horse the freedom in the shoulder, because when the horse strikes forward, pushes the upper arm, that shoulder come back. So look at the tree width, D-ring to D-ring, and that this is parallel to the scapular. Otherwise, you will do a lot of problem on the horse's shoulders, which has been recorded so many times in so many cases.